right, my friends, let's go ahead and we are going to make our roast lemon chicken. This is so simple. You're gonna love this dish. It's easy to have on hand at all times, or it's easy to get together really quickly. So we're gonna juice 1 lemon. So let's cut our lemon. And sometimes I'll just cut off the ends just because it makes it a little bit easier to juice that way. The lemons, if your lemons are particularly big. Before we get our hands all zhuzhed up, I want to go ahead and make sure I've got my seasoning ready to go. So we're doing a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, kosher salt. If you have a seasoned salt, you can use that too. I'm just using a traditional kosher Caesar salt, kosher salt. And then I'm gonna need a teaspoon of olive oil, so I'm gonna just set that aside for now. But then we're gonna do about the same of a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. I like to freshly grind mine. If you have a grinder, that's cool. And then I'm gonna get my teaspoon of olive oil ready. All right, and actually just gonna pour that right over the top because we're gonna blend that in. And then I'm gonna juice my 1 lemon. Now, if you're using, I asked everyone to get a bone-in chicken breast or boneless, skinless breast. And that's just gonna adjust the time. And sometimes it can, I mean, cooking with the skin on does make things a lot more juicy. But if you and your doctor have been talking about your cholesterol and there's been some concerns there, even if you did buy the bone-in skin-on breast, I want you to remove the skin. After you're done cooking it, just don't eat it, okay? Because that will impact your cholesterol. All meat impacts your cholesterol first off, but the skin on can significantly impact it a little bit more. So if that's been a concern, if it's not a concern, don't worry about it. If you enjoy the skin on, skin off, you have options, okay? That was the main thing, it's just everyone has options. So we've juiced our lemon. Now we're just gonna go ahead and mix around our salt and pepper. And this is it, you guys. We're just gonna go ahead and rub this in, okay? So it's just really simple. Just rub it around. We're gonna wash our hands after this really well. And it's important, you wanna make sure that the skin side is down when you go to cook this, but so when you start, you want your skin side up. Okay, so I'm gonna just flip it over. It's mostly just the bone on the back side, so I'm still gonna give it a nice little sprinkling of the salt and pepper. Okay. Now, if you decided to make this early and you're gonna roast this later in the week, here's what I would recommend. Instead of using up one of your dishes, one of your pans, because this is a shallow baking pan, and you may want to use it later on in the week for something else, and then you go, oh gosh, my chicken's in there. So what I do, and you don't have to do this, it's just a nice way to just have some extra Tupperware. And if you can see, I don't want to touch it just yet, but I've marked it with an RC. And so what that stands for to me in my household is raw chicken. So I just use this over and over again for all my raw chicken dishes that I want to marinate. And I love because it has a seal on it, so there's nothing going to splatter on it. You know, it's not, and the juices are going to pop out if I move things around in my refrigerator. And then I'll just keep this, my chicken that I'm gonna roast later on, a couple days, probably for me, at least 1 or 2 days. And then I'll just, you know, pull it out, and then I just put this right in hot soapy water, and it's back into my cupboard. And so when it's ready when I need it. So you're not impacting all of your dishes all the time. All right? Okay guys, so let's put our chicken, our lemon salt pepper chicken, in the oven. I've got it heated up to 425 degrees. I've still had it in my container marked with my raw chicken. And I'm putting it in skin side down. I think that's probably one of the most important things. I'm gonna put that little extra juice in there. Okay. And then set that off to the side. And the reason I'm cooking it skin side down is so that it gets nice and caramelized as opposed to too crispy. And I would recommend setting your alarm for 40 minutes and checking it. If you're doing boneless, skinless breasts, then I would say 30 minutes tops, okay? So go ahead and stick that in, and then we'll check it in 40 minutes, and that you're done. How simple is that? And you're gonna have some delicious chicken in just a short bit. Okay. So I've been baking my chicken for 40 minutes. Hopefully you have 2 or 30 minutes if you just did boneless, skinless breasts. I did the bone in, skin on. So you can see it's sizzling and look, it's really nice and dark and toasty. So we're just gonna let that rest for about 5 minutes and then we'll go ahead and cut into it. Really simple, delicious. You guys are gonna love this. It's so great to just be able to pull this out of your pocket on any weeknight. Very minimal time marinating, and something you can also do in advance, right? And we didn't use any fancy ingredients or expensive ingredients. You know, everyone usually has some lemon juice or some sort of citrus on hand. Salt and pepper, of course, you've got. So really great go-to mid-week meal. Okay, you guys, so I've let mine cool down for about 5 to 7 minutes. It still feels pretty hot though, so I'm gonna let it sit just another few minutes, but you can see like the skin, how delicious. Yeah, it's still really hot. So just gently, you know, you can fool around with yours if you want to. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna remove this bone in. So, et voila. Now, to prepare this for a meal, because mine was about a pound, this one particular bone-in chicken breast, I recommended everybody get a pound, and all you're gonna do is just eyeball it and split it down the middle. You know, you don't need to pull anything out, you don't need to measure a thing. You can just eyeball it. If you feel like, oh my gosh, after you split it in half, you're like, wow, that looks like a lot, then just peel a little more off. That's okay, and set it aside. Use that as a snack. It's just like having a little extra meatball or two. You can just set it aside and use it as a snack when you get home if you're feeling, you know, anxious about eating, or you're just like, you know, gonna go to the gym. You can pop that in on the way to the gym or on the way out from the gym, you know, something like that. So it doesn't go to waste, all right? And that's that. We've got delicious lemon chicken. I can't wait till you guys try it because it's so good.